Quick question. When was the last time you've been hurt so badly by someone that you kind of did something very petty? Not kind of, but sought revenge. I know I've sought revenge back in the day. I think the more I've grown up, the less I do it. But why do we do it? Anyway, welcome back to Therapy Talk with Tammy and Pauline. I am Pauline, a licensed professional counselor, and I am here for many reasons. Stay tuned. Okay, so as I was saying, I am here for many reasons. The reason being that it is episode 4 of The Idol, and I have been psychoanalyzing our girl Joselyn since episode 1. This week's episode seems to be about revenge, and I have not seen anything like this. Anyway, as y'all know, I've been talking to Joselyn. We're pretending she's coming to therapy, seeking help, right? And so I don't know what Joselyn, as far as diagnoses, I'm hoping to figure something out by the end of the season. So far, I've been thinking Joselyn may have issues related to a personality disorder of some sort, maybe borderline, maybe bipolar disorder, maybe some PTSD. I know she has a lot of trauma. We probably get more into that. Some complex grief here, complicated grief. Let's see. She may have abandonment issues. We need to tap more into that. But anyway, I think and Tammy's covering this, she has some hypersexuality, which doesn't seem to be safe in the way in which she is moving about in life currently. I also think she has some addiction of some sort, whether it's chemical or behavioral. And that's where the hypersexuality may be coming from. Anyway, thank you for being here, and let's just get right into it, okay? Okay, so our girl is back to therapy, and I have some more questions for her. I like to usually check in with people. Life happens when you leave your therapist's office. So I'm checking in with Joselyn, and I'm asking her, hey, how was your week? And she tells me, I've been recording new songs and I've been so excited about it. I said, girl, tell me about it. And she says, well, it's a song about, not making decisions. The lyrics kind of talk about that or having a hard time making decisions. And I said, yeah, I remember in our first session, you talk about like you really have a hard time making decisions because the people around you tend to make decisions for you. Or they just don't really take you seriously when you have an idea or something. And she says, yeah, but I like Tedros. I like it when he makes decisions for me. I said, oh yeah, just like you told me last week, he was picking out your clothes and you seem to be okay with that. And she said, yeah. And I said, all right, so decision, is that not what you want to work on anymore? Like trying to learn how to make decisions for yourself? She's like, no, let's just move on. I really like where things are because songs are being made in this way. Okay, so I move on, right? But do therapists really move on? We keep it in our minds because we need to bring it up some other time. Things tend to circle back around. So I'm not going to move on from it per se. It's going to be stored. I'll bring it up later when needed. Okay, so something that I want to check in on with Joselyn is the people around her, right? So, Joselyn, how is your manager, your team? At this point, Joselyn is telling me that she doesn't really hear from her old team because Tedros has brought in some people. And when we watch episode 4, it's looking pretty awful in there. I say awful in the way of like, there's orgies going on, there's drugs everywhere, there's alcohol, there's parties. It seems like there's parties going on every day. And if y'all remember episode 1, Jocelyn's house was more of a workplace. Now it's like a trap house, party, just a bunch of strangers, but they're calling each other family. Okay? We can pick and choose our family, and right now Joselyn is picking people she doesn't really know. That is concerning for me. Let's move on. Okay, Joselyn, are you happy? She says, yeah, I'm happy sometimes, but sometimes I really feel empty. I could be smiling, but really I feel empty. So you have this emptiness. And when we bring up emptiness in session, some diagnoses such as like borderline personality or even bipolar disorder, even depression, some people can have that feeling of emptiness. So there's always this void that they're trying to fill. What do they fill this void with? It could be in a form of substance, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, even people, and unsafe behaviors, such as like we've seen Joselyn having sex, all kinds of willy-nilly and whatnot. Also in ways of having like risky behavior. Let's just put it as that. Risky behaviors can help fill up this void. But those things don't last, right? It's there, we're instantly gratified, and then we want more. And that's how drug use is increased, because it works for a little bit and then it doesn't. Then you got to add more. Then we're falling into some issues. Okay, I want to specifically ask Joselyn about history of abuse, right? And this is important because in order for someone to be diagnosed with PTSD, we need to know if they've been through trauma. And abuse comes in the form of whether it's verbal, whether it's emotional, psychological, and it could be verbal and exploitation and various things. And I think y'all know this has been happening to Joselyn. Even if we don't know her background, in these episodes we've seen, she is experiencing versions of it. The thing with people who've experienced trauma is there's a tendency to compare past trauma to, let's say, present trauma or current. The thing is, I don't think Joselyn feels she's being abused. So I'm going to ask her specific questions so we can identify what's really going on. So I say, okay, what in the past, let's go back in time a bit. Have you ever experienced any physical abuse? This can be in the form of being hit by someone and slapped, pushed, shoved. Joselyn then says, and she's opening up to me more. I'm glad. It's week 3 now. She says, yes, my mom, starting from age 3, used to hit me. She hit her. All this happened until her mom passed away. So she hit her. She verbally abused her. She was emotionally abusive, and all of that until she passed. So, okay, now we have some history here. Further on, I ask, is this happening to you now? Could you be experiencing something like, no, this is kind of leading. I'm going to say, have you experienced any type of abuse other than seeing the experience that you had with your mom? Joselyn hesitates a bit, and her hesitation is because in her sexual behaviors, there is some of those things going on, but she's not going to call it abuse. Okay, I cannot call it that either. Trauma is our perception. If she does not feel that this is going on for her with her sexual partner, then no, we cannot call it. I can't say it's traumatic for her. She has to tell me that, and I have to, again, assess these things. Additionally, last time we found out, Tedros used the same brush that her mom used to abuse her to encourage her. This is re-traumatizing someone. I have to give Joselyn more education on what this is. But we're going to move forward. Okay, so I have a question for y'all. Have y'all seen something so wrong, like you feel it in your core, but you just froze and couldn't say anything or do anything about it? So because trauma is not only by the experiences that we have that are like done to us, like what I'm saying is like being hit or being yelled at or being pushed and various things. Like, again, abuse comes in all sorts of ways, also sexual. I want to know, because there's different types. I'm going to ask Joselyn about if she's experienced trauma vicariously. And that goes to my question of witnessing something that is so bad, awful, that you've just frozen right there, right? So here's the thing. I'm going to explain to Joselyn what vicarious trauma is, and here's what it is. It's exposure of traumatic stories or experiences of others, where they experience it through work. You can witness someone being hurt. You can see their pain. You can see that they're terrified. You see all of that someone else is experiencing. The other thing that we can miss is hearing about awful stories. This is why some of us don't really watch the news, because we can't get traumatized from it. Therapists can get traumatized from the stories they hear their clients and patients share. That's why we have to take care of ourselves. And also, you got to ask permission to share awful stories. You may not think it's awful, but for some people, it might be. So that's my question to Joselyn, if she has had any experiences like that. She's going to tell me no. However, she's going to share an interesting story with me. And here's something I want y'all to know. Abuse can be passed down from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next. This is how it's done. Joselyn's mom abused her. Point blank, period. We know that. Something that Joselyn shares with me that tells me that's a form of vicarious trauma is Tedros does this weird thing. We know he's controlling. He brings down Xander. They grab Xander, which is Joselyn's, was it her creative director? Somehow he's mixed in the house being, I don't know, somehow he's trapped in there. But a person who's been abused can become an abuser. Here's how. Joselyn has Tedros, who was first the one that is shocking him. They put on a call. If you watch the episode, you know what I'm talking about. And right now they are going at it, and she is telling Tedros to keep shocking him, because back in the day, Xander did nothing to stop her mom from abusing her for years, right? So revenge, right? That's how we started off this episode. Joselyn has had this inside of her for so long that she's lashing out right now and abusing her friend. She's not going to think it is, but she is crying because she's witnessing his pain. She's witnessing how terrified he is. And she's also frozen. You can tell she wanted to stop it, didn't stop it, made it continue. Joselyn has experienced some vicarious trauma. Hurt people hurt people. Here's why I'm saying that. So we started off this episode talking about revenge. Joselyn, at one of her parties, invites her ex. She has not really talked about her ex. What she mentioned was that it was a public breakup. Why did she invite her ex? Because she got hurt. She felt hurt, so she texted him, hey, come on over. He comes over. Why? Why do you have that kind of time? Anyway, I guess I just judged her ex-boyfriend. Anyway, moving on. Joselyn finds out some information that she was basically exploited. That's the word I'm going to put out there. And because of that, she seeks revenge by calling up her ex. Some of us have done this because we're feeling some type of way, and she does the same. She's feeling betrayed. She's feeling hurt. Things are coming to her. She's having revelations of sorts. They do their thing. Now, risky behavior. Now she has multiple sex partners. Tedros, on the other hand, he's also feeling hurt because he's locked out of the room that he has shared with Joselyn all these nights and days and whatever. He's crying actually, and I'm smiling because I'm like, oh, he's hurting. Anyway, let's move on. But here's something that happens at the end of the episode. where I think I know where this is leading. But y'all remember Xander. Something has happened to Xander. He's been abused. He's been brainwashed, let's use that word, to do things for Tedros now. I don't know how this man does it. But what he did was he has trapped Joselyn's ex into taking a picture with some stranger in the house. And I think they're going to ruin his career that way. And I'm saying this is a form of revenge because Tedros is hurt. When Tedros is hurt, he's going to find a way to make that other person hurt worse. And that's what I meant by hurt people hurt people. So here it is, right? And I asked Joselyn, why did you invite your ex to the party? She was like, well, I don't know. I just felt like it. I said, okay. She's not going to give me much information today, but I think at some point we may have to talk about it. I don't know. This is supposed to be our intake, and it's been such a deep dive into Joselyn. And it's not uncommon when we do intake sessions as therapists that some of our clients are going to have so much going on between sessions, after sessions, before sessions that it seems like there's processing being done. It's not. There's just a lot of complex things going on with Joselyn. People are layered. And so it's no surprise that I keep getting new information each time we meet. So how am I going to end this episode? I don't know. How do I want to even end the session? Okay, I know. I'm going to end it by saying, if it feels wrong, chances are it is wrong. And if you have any questions about what I discussed today, please let me know in the comments. This episode seemed to be about revenge and abuse. So if you have any questions regarding that, or even any other questions, please let me know. And what are your thoughts about this show overall? 4 episodes and whatnot. What do you think? Let me know. Okay, bye.